Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. So today I'm going to share with you how I use my Hobonichi Cousin in 2023. Now this is my main planner which I store at the end of the year. It includes everything except for work. Now this is the first spread. So what I do here is track my income. I have multiple sources of income. I do not receive the same amount every month and I receive it on different dates. So I need to keep a track of it, and what I do is I highlight in green the date that I have received the amount, and at the bottom of the month I write down the initial, for example A for the source of the income, and then I write the amount that I received from there. As you can see, some months I do not receive anything and some months I get paid about multiple times, like 2 to 3 times, and that is why I need to be clear on that. See, you can see over here I have highlighted different dates. I have written in the same order, so I know that I have received on the 11th from A, for that matter. From 13th maybe it is R, and 14th it is T. So I know the source of income, how much I received and on which date as such. Then let's go to the next spread. So here I have an index. This is an index for the daily pages where I memory keep, and in the daily pages I tend to write quite small, as you can see over here. This is not my actual handwriting where it tends to be quite big, and the problem is that when I write a lot it gets quite difficult for me to find something easily in the daily pages. I would say that this is more for later use rather than when I'm using the planner in that current year. So what I do here is that I just write the main topic of that journaling over here. I do not really use any sort of color coding over here because I feel it is quite pointless for this one. Even if I do not remember the date or the month on which I've written something, and if I want to find something later on, I come to this index. I can just quickly run through these topics because there are not too many over here, as you can see. In some cases it is quite empty, and here also it is not that full where I can't just quickly glance through it and find out a specific topic as such. So this is the index. I can speak a little more about it when we go to the daily pages later, but frankly this does not take much time for me. I think generally what I do is at the end of the month, for example, once I've completed June, maybe in July, I will just update the index. It takes about a little more than a minute and that's it. Okay, I will show you how that works once we come to the daily pages. Let's go to the monthly now. As far as the monthly is concerned, this is the place where I pre-plan a bit, as well as later on it works as an overview of the page for me, where it shows me the main highlights of the month. Of course, I don't write everything, I don't write every day in each box, but nevertheless this works out well enough for me. As you can see, this is one of, I would say the colorful pages in my Hobonichi Cousin. I like it to pop out a little bit so that I can find things easily. The only sort of decoration I would say I have is this washi that I've laid out for the days that are not part of the month. Is it necessary? No. But do I like to do it? Yes. So that's about it. Then let's come to the pre-planning part of it. So in November or December, I do a little bit of pre-planning where I note down the birthdays and anniversaries that are a part of that month. So Jan does not have any. Okay, we have some in Feb. So as you can see, what I've done is I put this sort of circle stickers. They are sort of floral circle stickers and see-through so that you can see the number through them. And then I write down the name of the person who is celebrating a birthday or an anniversary or whichever event is there on that day. Now, how I do this is I have a perpetual calendar, so I don't use it for the whole year. I just take it during the pre-planning time, update the entire 12 months at one go, which does not really take much time, and then I am done with it. So I don't really need to do this repeatedly every month. Okay, now another suggestion is if you don't have a perpetual calendar, you can just refer to your current planner and update the next year's planner. That is also a good way to do it because sometimes maybe there is a new member in the family, maybe a baby is born, then you have to update about that. Okay, so you can do that as well as required. Now going beyond that, you might have noticed that I have a lot of circle stickers going on of different kinds. So these clear circle stickers are from Erin Condren, and they indicate different important events, not events as such, things that happen on a monthly basis. For example, my period. I need to track it and I use this to track that. Then of course these are a number of things that happen on a monthly basis. but they tend to take place on different dates. So since I need to track them, I just use the stickers for them. Now I will recommend the EC stickers simply because you get a lot of them. I have bought it once and I'm repeatedly using the same instead of buying small sticker sheets which get over quickly, like in a few months or something, and which are too expensive. But at the same time, go with anything that works for you. I have a key for all of these at the back of my planner because in the initial months like Jan and Feb, I don't really remember which color or which sticker goes with what. But by the time Feb is done, I'm quite aware of what each sticker indicates, so I don't need it really beyond that. But the reason that I placed the key there is not only for the 2 months, it is for again later purposes, in the sense that assuming I have completed the planner and maybe the next year I refer back to this planner and there are so many stickers on it which indicate something which I don't remember, I think I can easily go back to the key and then connect it to this and find out what is mentioned over here. But as of otherwise, I don't really need the key, but I keep it over there just to be safe. Then I have these smaller circle stickers which are not clear. They indicate different bills. So each color indicates a certain type of bill, and I write down the amount as well right next to it so that I know what is the amount to be paid. But just to be clear, this is not the deadline. Okay, I write down bills in a way that on the day that I've paid it. Okay, so on 13th I have paid 2 bills and I've written down the amount as well. This is how it works for my mind because I tend to forget after a while whether I've paid or not. We have a budgeting system at home, but nevertheless I like to do this so that I'm at a peace of mind regarding whether the bills are paid or not. So this helps me out with that. Other than that, what I have on these pages are, okay, you might have noticed a few things are highlighted. Now for most of them there is no color coding except for one. The green indicates specifically money spent on stationery, so stationery shopping. So here you can see that I bought from Erin Condren on 21st March. This is just to make me a little self-aware, since this is the category in which I spend a lot of money, considering that I have a stationery channel, and even if I didn't have it, I'll have a lot of love for stationery and planning. Now this is something that I do in terms of stationery. As far as the other things are concerned, they are random colors. They don't really mean anything in terms of the colors. So what I do with the highlighter is that I highlight, then I write down simply so that they pop out on the spread. Okay, they are important events of that day so that they can stand out. Then beyond that, I have updated sometimes regarding, let's see, trips that have been taken. When's these are my fishes. I have a lot of fishes at home, okay, but sometimes things don't work out and they pass away quite quickly, and I have mentioned that. See, here is a trip that was taken, okay. I don't know whether I've done it this year, but sometimes what I do is, even if the trip gets cancelled, I mention that over here. I don't really white out it because I like to know that it was cancelled and for what reason it was cancelled. So I don't really remove it completely from here. And beyond that, this may not be relevant to everyone. I kind of update about my social media, so I just draw the icon over here and write down some details regarding that. This makes me little more aware of whether I've been consistent with my channel or not. YouTube is where I'm really interested in. Not really much concerned about Instagram. I just use it for the sake of using it because some people strictly post certain things on Instagram and I can't find it on YouTube. So that's about it as far as the monthlies are concerned. You can see that I have been very much consistent with the monthlies, okay, over here, and this is the current monthly that we are on as far as September 2023 is concerned. Now as far as bookmarks are concerned, since I was using the regular Cousin without a cover earlier, this is a recent cover. I used to use these bookmarks. They are from EC, okay. This one does not have anything written on it, but they work fine for me. They do leave a bit of mark on the pages, but see, once you remove them and just store the planner, it is fine. It's not that bad also. Then let us come to, I believe, the weekly spreads, okay. So the weekly spreads are where all my planning takes place, okay. So this is the planning section as far as I'm concerned. One of the spreads for a small part I made a little bit of a mess, but anyway I'll just go through it for you. Okay, so weekly spreads are divided into 3 sections, as you can see. Okay, the first one is me time, then I have to do, then we have events over here, then of course as you can see there is my habit tracking section. Okay, I try not to track more than 5 habits at a time. 5 is maximum for me. So currently I have hair care, skincare. Actually there is vitamins as well in the month of September. Then I have sleep here, and of course a water tracker. It is a very simple tracker. It does not take much time to create this. So in case you want something explained regarding that, you can ask me about it. This is the only place where I use a stencil because I think it looks a little bit fun. It's the Hobonichi stencil which I use for the water tracker. Then let's start from the bottom. So I have events over here. You might think that I have a very interesting life, that I have so many events. That is not the case. I have a very boring life. I do not have any interesting things to do as such. I am kind of a boring person, but at the same time I am leading one of a group, so I need to know the events that are taking place, where is it taking place, at what time. I need to kind of track it. It's not that I attend all of these, but I need to know which dates, what is taking place, where, when, and such. Anyway, that is the events that you see at the bottom. Then we come to the to-dos over here. So as far as the to-dos are concerned, this is very basic. If I do it, I tick it off or I cross it off as required. Okay. And sometimes what I do here is that after I've completed a task, I go and write it down because it just makes me happy to do so. And then at the top we have my me time section. Now this me time has changed over the years for me. So this year I have largely only written here about what I'm reading. So me time can be, completely personal to you because it can be a show that you're watching. In my case, it is reading right now. It can be language learning, it can be anything else, maybe Bible reading or whatever you're interested in. I would say that for me it is general reading, in the sense that I don't read much because I know that a lot of people tend to read several books in 1 month. I can barely read 1 book a month currently, and I'm fine with that because I know my life situation. I'm not able to do more than that at the moment. So what I do is I write down the title of the book in short, and then I write down the number of chapters covered that day. Now sometimes I do it after, but sometimes I kind of do it before. Now if you're wondering how before works, it is in the sense that I plan it out. So for example, if I've started a book and I felt that it's a very interesting book, okay, or maybe it's a boring book, and I've read about 1 to 7 chapters that day, or based on the number of pages for that matter, on the second day, what I would do is I would write the exact number of chapters to cover for the next day. So maybe 8 to 14, instead of increasing it, the exact number. And what I like to do is, kind of set it as a goal, and I actually follow through with that. Okay, when I write 8 to 14, I see to that I have read it. Obviously, this is based on a number of factors. I plan keeping in mind whether it is a good week for me where I'll be able to read so much or similar. But sometimes it doesn't work out. I understand that. Sometimes it works out great in the sense that I read a lot more than what I've written. Then I just add it for the next day. It's not really a big deal for me that I add it to the same day or not. So this is how I've been using it, even though it may seem a little confusing to you at the moment. So as you can see, me time is not something that I've been really consistent with this year. However, in previous years it has worked out great for me. So I might make minor changes to it next year, so to make it a little better for myself. Nevertheless, let's go to the next spread now, which is okay. This is the bookmark that I use for the weekly section because this is the exact one. It suits this spread perfectly. Now coming to the next spread, which is a failure. So this is like, I think it was the turning the page to a new year spread. I wouldn't really suggest putting important things over here because it is quite difficult for some reason to flip to the spread and refer to it on a daily basis. So here I tried out a shopping tracker this year. Failure. Okay, it is a complete failure. I wish any of you could help me out with this because I don't know how to go about this. I want to make a shopping tracker as far as stationery is concerned. My major priorities, I would say, which shop I brought from. the total amount obviously, but other than that also maybe how much shipping that website takes, and also the duty that I have to pay in case I had to pay it. So a number of things like that, and of course the duration as such, as far as delivery, order and delivery is concerned, a number of things like that. I think my biggest mistake was trying to list down each and everything that was part of the order, because this was a huge order that I had made, in which there were a lot of minor things like, which I ended up listing one by one, okay, and it just took up the whole page, and this was a complete waste. I struggled to even complete it, and I was not even interested in really doing this one. But I hope I can make better use of this shopping tracker in a different way next year. Now, what I usually do for this page, however, is I tend to use it as a goal, my goals for the year page, okay. I think I will go back to that in 2024. I'm not sure about it, so let's see. Then let us come to the next spread. So here we are going into the daily section. Now before the dailies begin, there is always a dashboard attached to a daily. Now let me tell you, I am not that person who is going to make each and every spread functional and productive for you. I tried to do that once, but I think my heart is not set on that. So what works for me is that making it a little bit fun. For me, the daily section, unlike the weekly where I keep it very basic, here is where I like to be a little more creative as such. I don't have a single creative bone in my body, and that makes it a lot difficult for me because I'm not at all artistic, but I want to be creative. Okay, I want to do something fun over here, make it a little colorful and fun. So what I do is, as far as the dashboard is concerned, I try to write a quote that I liked or something that I've read and is fun, or I use stickers over here. Now, as I told you, since I can't draw or paint, what I do is use some old stickers that I have. I don't buy new ones now, but I have some old ones that actually are not my style, but since I have them, I kind of use them over here. And I decorate the dashboard pages for every month in that way. So here I had a stencil, okay, and that is how I've got this thing. I don't have any talent as of otherwise to, get these things done. Then let's come to the daily pages. So daily pages are largely memory keeping for me. I have skipped a lot of pages by leaving them blank. Some months go really well for me where I journal a lot, but I am not someone who really panics when I see the daily pages, so I'm not really worried about that, just to be clear. So this is something that new that I started this year. Other than journaling, I have also divided the first 7 pages into 7 categories, important categories of my life. So there is a secret line over here in the Hobonichi Cousin. I drew a dotted line along that, and I have divided it into YouTube, then Instagram, skincare, hair care, household, and stationery and makeup. So I would say that a huge part of it is like a wish list sort of, okay? Maybe the things that I wish to buy, okay? And if I buy them, I give it a tick. If I don't buy them and I completely cancel the idea, it's a cross. If I still feel that, okay, maybe I will wait for another month, I just put a forwarding arrow as such. Now, this changes from month to month. I think this is a great system because some are necessities that I need every month. Some I lose interest when I keep on forwarding it, so which turns out well for my pocket, and some I just cross off. Okay, either way, I think this is a good system. It was completely new this year, but so far it has been going well for me. YouTube and Instagram obviously not relevant for everyone, so I'm not going through that. Then, as you can see, journaling. Yes, the journaling section. Yes, now let me talk about how this and the index is connected. So when I write a lot, okay, what I do is I write down the main topic in a medium tip and in capital so that it stands out. And at the end of the month, once I've completed a certain month, I go back and update the index based on the titles that I've written. It's not that I go and read the whole journaling page that I've written down. I just go as per the titles and update my index. So it just gets done in about a minute because as you can see, it is not every page is filled up. Okay, only certain pages are filled up. I refer to the title and it is very quick the way that I can fill up the index. Sometimes, as you can see, when the mood strikes and if I have time, I do this sort of thing with the help of stencils because I am not artistically talented, or I use some stickers over there, and that is how it turns out for most of the month. As you can see, I'm not really consistent with journaling, but then I'm fine with it. Okay. Some months are emptier, some months not so much. I think I've got a little bit of my groove back in September, as you can see. And this is the bookmark that I'm using currently for the dailies. Today works perfect for it. So I have this, 3 bookmarks. Obviously, you don't need this if you have the covers and the bookmarks attached to it, the ribbon bookmarks as such. Now let's come to the end of the planner. Okay. Now, as you know, there are grid pages at the back of the planner. Again, this is one of my failure sections where I tried to follow someone on YouTube and then, adapt their style. Even when you're watching my video, my suggestion is that use what you feel can be useful for you. Don't feel the need to be, perfectly productive and efficient by seeing someone on YouTube. Because I try to follow the system where I have everything in my one planner. See, it doesn't work for everyone. Some people need multiple planners or books, and that is fine. Okay. I try to include my routines on these grid pages, a routine, timetable and such. It was a failure. I have not even referred to this. In previous years, what I used to do is I have a notepad, a standing one from Erin Condren. I have my routines on that, a timetable on that, and it is standing up on my desk where I can see it clearly on a daily basis. That was perfect. I don't know why I went and changed it because this was a disaster. I will probably go back to the notepad next year because, routines change. They don't remain the same for me for the entire year. An example is that if I have a hair care routine, okay, according to seasons, my hair has different needs, maybe depending on my health, okay, my hair needs will change. So I can't have the same routine for the entire year. It can change. And there is only so much you can white out over here on the book. I prefer the notepad where I can just stare off the page, the same layout is there on the next page and use it perfectly for my routines. Anyway, as far as this is concerned, a suggestion from my side will be that I have used this earlier successfully as a reading section, like my to be read or my library section, and it has worked out great. You can check some of my previous videos for that. I would suggest that as a better option for this. Now, there are a lot of printed pages at the back, which I frankly don't care about. Whether it is there or not there, not really important for me. So here I have my key for the circle stickers in the monthly spread. You don't really need to attach stickers to your cousin. I had just done this when I prepped the planner. Not really important, but this is quite easy for me to pick up the stickers from here and use it accordingly. As I told you, I don't really use any of this and I'm not really bothered about it either. Now coming to this. So this, as you see, since I use that section for routines, I had to shift my books to read over here. There were these 12 boxes where I've added one book per month because I told you I can't read much, and here I'm tracking my reading. I know it looks completely empty, but weirdly I have been happy that I'm tracking it. So I think I will continue with it even next year, even though it looks empty over here. The sad part is that for 2024 they have separated these two. So this is, I think, on the previous page, not connected together as we have it over here. And obviously they have not meant it for a books to read section. It is, I think, words to remember. That is the actual use for it. I just edited it out and did that. And also, as far as this check-off sheet is concerned, I think they forgot to make it 366 for 2024, considering it's a leap year. Nevertheless, it's not a huge issue. I can work along with that. So with that, I have come to the end of the flip through and the explanation. I hope you enjoyed the video. Oh my god, this book cover scares me. Anyway, yes, see you next time, guys. Bye everyone.